The needle swing Suvi could not wait to hear all about my visit to Abhi's place. She dragged me off to a secluded spot in the building that housed the college auditorium. You little minx. You slept with him. You lost your virginity. Didn't you? She shrieked. Of course not. We only held hands. My indignant words were out even before I realized it. Aha! Aha! Miss Ankita Sharma. If anybody can get you to open up and trap you to admit facts, it is only me. She looked as though she had won a prize at a fair where you try your chances in a game of luck. I asked her to shut up and narrated in detail every single thing that had happened, ever since I went to his home. She let out a whistle when I completed. Then she said you should have at least kissed him. You and your dumb ideas. You're a trollop and that is all you can think of. I was annoyed with her for not offering a salve to my guilt. She was only looking at it as an opportunity to get physical with a guy. A perfect opportunity that had been handed to me on a platter, which in her books, I had missed. I walked off angrily and she trailed behind me. Hey, relax. I was only teasing you, she said. But look at you. You're behaving as though you actually slept with him. Look, I am beginning to like him a lot more than I intended to. I have no idea what to do. And what do I tell Vaibhav? I asked. How do you know your sweet Vaibhav hasn't met someone there? You think he is telling you everything? For God's sake, Ankita, it is not as though you are married to Vaibhav. Things happen. People change. Before I met Ravi, I liked Suresh. And all this virginity business is really no big deal. You do it and it's done. I knew she had a sex life, but this was the first time she was talking about it. Weren't you scared the first time? I asked her. I wished I could be as nonchalant as her. I wished things didn't bother me so much. Well, not exactly scared, because I knew what I was doing. I was more worried about whether he had put on the condom right. And I was more worried about getting pregnant. And how did you know that Suresh was the one? I asked. My sweet Anks, which century are you living in? Don't tell me you are saving your virginity to gift it on a platter to the guy you will marry, she said. I was. So I said nothing. I think she understood. Look, she said, I had decided to do it and I did it. That was all. It did not matter with whom. But things didn't work out with Suresh. Then Ravi came along. And even now it is not as if Ravi and I are a couple. I do understand what you're feeling, babe, trust me, I have been there. I know. I felt a lot better after her assurance. I was a little in awe of her too. I had miles to go in that department. Here I was, feeling guilty for having spent time alone with a guy. It wasn't as if we had kissed or even got physical. But somehow I knew at that moment, that a barrier between him and me had been broken and I would go further the next time. I wasn't comfortable thinking about it, so I dealt with it in the manner I knew best. I pushed it aside. As months passed, I discovered that being an office bearer meant a mad whirlwind of selections, competitions, trials, organizing transport and the best part of it all, bringing home the laurels. For most of the cultural festivals, we either came second in the overall championship or were winners. For each of these cultural festivals, the team from Mahavir's would invariably be present. That meant that Abhi was there and my interaction with him grew more and more. It became almost a ritual that after each cultural festival he would ask me if he could drop me back home, after a cup of coffee. I looked forward to it. I enjoyed his company and over numerous cups of coffees and bike rides home, we were forging a bond that was becoming stronger as the weeks passed. I did not breathe a word of any of this to Vaibhav. But deep down, I knew I wasn't waiting for his calls or letters anymore with the same eagerness that I used to. These days I was only looking forward to opportunities that would give me a chance to be with Abhay for longer periods of time. The needle had swung in Abhay's favor and there was no question of turning back.